Well, it's about 2 weeks before the end. This is going to be my last video, probably before till after that.
At the time, Peter Keller's family didn't know it yet, but something was already very wrong. What you're about to hear is based on found footage, video diaries that were never meant to be seen by the public. These recordings weren't cinematic, they weren't dramatic, they were raw, awkward, and disturbingly casual, and that's what makes them so terrifying. Peter Keller filmed himself the way someone might document a weekend hobby, like a YouTube vlogger. But over time, these videos became something else entirely, a window into the mind of a man slowly detaching from reality. A licensed professional counselor later reviewed this footage. What they saw wasn't just planning, it was deterioration. Okay, looks like everything's working. Peter's early recordings feel almost harmless. He fidgets with the camera, he avoids eye contact, he admits he hates watching himself talk, he laughs it off. He shows viewers a hidden trail deep in the woods near North Bend, Washington. He explains how he keeps it concealed so no one stumbles onto it by accident. He hikes in with a 30-40-pound pack. Every trip, another load, another supply run, a blow-up mattress, blankets, clothes, food. He talks about transition time, about seeing how long he can last. At this point, nothing he says outright sounds criminal, but there's an underlying secrecy, a deliberate isolation. He's not camping, he's building something permanent. Away from the woods, Peter Keller was a husband and a father. He lived with his wife, Lynette, and their 18-year-old daughter, Ken. On camera, they appear close, comfortable, normal. They joke, they film each other, they talk about school, college plans, and everyday life. Lynette uploads cheerful YouTube videos of her own, showing scrapbooking supplies, handmade paper flowers, and products she sells to support the family. She talks openly about her health struggles, chronic pain, and how grateful she is for her husband's support. She calls him loving, patient, reliable. Peter refurbishes computers. He buys Lynette a recliner for her back pain. He builds her a scrapbooking room. To the outside world, this looks like a family facing hardship, but facing it together. But something else is quietly draining beneath the surface. Deep in the forest, Peter reveals what he's really been working on. Buried into the hillside is an underground bunker, later nicknamed Camp Keller. He explains he's wanted to build an underground home since he was a teenager. Now he finally has the money. He's spent thousands, more on weapons, more on tools, more on hardware. The bunker has a generator hauled up the mountain, a makeshift kitchen, a wood-burning stove built from a metal garbage can, heavy-duty chains, 5-gallon buckets, a hacksaw, firearms, ammunition, an emergency stash of vodka. Everything is engineered, thought out, hidden. He stacks wood to make the structure less visible. He disguises the roof with brush. He installs a chimney to funnel smoke, unaware that smoke will later betray his location. Peter isn't just escaping civilization. He's preparing to disappear. Then the tone changes. Peter starts talking about money, about resentment, about feeling drained, about being trapped. He says something chilling. I may be dead in 2 or 3 weeks.
At this point, I don't know what's going to happen. I may get caught right away. Basically, if I get caught, I'm just going to shoot myself. So, I could basically be dead in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I don't know. It's all up to chance at this point. So I don't think anyone knows where I'm at. But if they put it together, who knows? At this point, I have to take that chance.
He talks about his escape plan.
death. He says he's okay with it. He fantasizes about robbing banks, about living without responsibility, without worrying about Lynette or Ken.
I'm getting to the point where just trying to live and pay bills and live as a civilian and go to work, it just freaks me out. It's actually more comfortable for me to think about living out here, robbing banks, pharmacies, just taking what I want for as long as I can. At least it'll be exciting. It won't be boring. And I don't have to worry about Lynette or Kayleen. And everything will.
That's when the counselor later noted intense anxiety, despite Peter's calm voice. He fidgets constantly. He avoids the camera. His words don't match his body language. This isn't freedom. It's desperation. Peter admits he's running out of time, that he's tried to make it in the world and failed. He talks about feeling pathetic, unmotivated, empty. The bunker is the only thing that makes him feel better. He retakes videos, refilms lines, carefully curates how he appears. He worries about how he looks, how he sounds. Experts later note this behavior mirrors adolescent thinking, believing an invisible audience is always watching and judging. At 41, Peter still feels exposed, still feels seen, still feels judged, and he's reaching a conclusion he believes is logical. April 22, 2012. Neighbors in the Keller Mobile Home Park hear what sounds like an explosion. Flames burst from the windows. Firefighters rush in, unaware they're stepping onto a house rigged to explode. A melted gas can is found on the stove. Ammunition, a homemade explosive device. The fire wasn't accidental. It was meant to erase everything. Inside the bedroom, untouched by flames, police make the discovery that changes everything. 2 bodies, Lynette Keller, Ken Keller, both shot in the head. Peter Keller is gone. Police locate Peter's abandoned vehicle. His workplace offers no answers. He's withdrawn over $6,000. Then, investigators find the hard drive, the video diaries, photos taken from the mountainside, showing power lines, streams, and distant city views. A detective triangulates the location. 6 days later, they find Camp Keller. Police surround the bunker. They use gas canisters. Nothing. They consider flooding it. They hear a single gunshot. When they breach the bunker, Peter Keller is dead by his own hand, just as he said he would be.
Investigators believed Peter killed his family to remove attachments, even the family dog, so it wouldn't give him away. There is no note, no apology, no explanation that makes sense. Camp Keller is destroyed. Peter's remaining cash is donated to a memorial scholarship in Lynette and Ken's name. And what remains are the videos. Not as warnings, but as evidence of how quietly a mind can unravel. Peter Keller didn't look like a monster. He looked like a man next door. And that's what makes this story so disturbing.